Well, I'm not going to say much. I have talked too much today. From the very morning and to the evening, I'm going to enjoy my dinner. And my job for tonight, for this evening gathering, well, I did not know that my staff titled this dinner called VIP. So I think you deserve the VIP. And so I take the honor to be part of your VIP groups. And thank you very much. We never had a VIP dinner before. This is the first time. So next time use it too. So my first job is to thank you all to attending, to join this NSP Think Tank Summit. My second word is to introduce our welcome speaker. Welcome to the speaker to deliver welcome. And he is our Deputy Minister, Ge Baoxuan, and to deliver the speaker. I still cannot figure out what is the difference between Vice Minister and Deputy Minister. Here, I always call you Deputy Minister, but here is a Vice Minister. So he is a Vice Deputy. No. Vice Minister is too low. Should be either Vice or either Deputy. Minister. Deputy Minister, Vice Minister has a very distinguished career. Before he served as the Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs Ministry, and he was a representative to India. And also he has served in the United States as well. And he also served as the Director General of the Department of East Asia. So this is my pleasure to welcome Vice Minister Ge to deliver his welcome speech.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Xinhuang Michael Xiao. Actually, Professor Xiao was my teacher when I was in the university. He taught me sociology at the time. 可以吗? Right. Okay. Dr. Xiao, Senior Advisor to the President and Chairman of the Taiwan-Asia Exchange Foundation, distinguished guests from both Taiwan and overseas, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. On behalf of the Foreign Minister, Dr. Lin Jialong, it's my great honor to be here with you at this special function. I would like to begin by expressing my sincere appreciation to the Taiwan-Asia Exchange Foundation for organizing this event and for bringing together so many scholars and researchers from around the world. The participation of such a wide variety of voices attests to the growing strength of Taiwan's think tank diplomacy. We greatly value the insights of our international partners from the academic and policy-making community. The theme of this inaugural summit, Prospects for a Resilient Indo-Pacific Policy, could not be more timely given the current geopolitical climate. The global impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and other major geopolitical conflicts have led to a restructuring of global democratic supply chains. Authoritarian regimes are seeking to disrupt our democratic systems, impose a new regional or even international order. In particular, the PRC's efforts to secure a leading role in the Indo-Pacific continue to threaten the peace and stability of this region and beyond. In reaction, international consensus has coalesced around an understanding that democracies must act in concert to confront the systemic threats posed by authoritarian regimes. Taiwan is playing a critical role in these efforts. In his recent speech at the Warsaw Security Forum, Foreign Minister Lin Jialong emphasized that Taiwan was a vital component of regional security and said Taiwan must work hand in hand with its partners to rebuild and reinforce global democratic supply chains. Taiwan stands on the front line against China's authoritarian expansionism. As a powerhouse of the world's tech ecosystem and a steadfast champion of democracy, we know too well the importance of protecting our much cherished freedom and the need for like-minded countries to take collective action to safeguard the democratic way of life we all enjoy. It has thus been heartening to see warships from the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, France, Germany, Japan, New Zealand, and the Netherlands continue to sail through the Taiwan Strait as part of the freedom of navigation operations. We thank these like-minded partners for taking concrete action to demonstrate that Taiwan Strait security is an indispensable element of global peace and stability. To support the vision of resilient, free, and open Indo-Pacific, Taiwan will continue to play a leading role in global supply chains and share its trusted technologies with diplomatic allies and like-minded partners. This year, under Minister Lin's leadership, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has helped organize several business and trade missions to Palau, Paraguay, and the Philippines. These delegations marshaled outstanding Taiwanese companies from such key areas as semiconductors, ICT, energy, smart transportation, and smart agriculture, areas where Taiwan is globally competitive and has strong expertise and technological advantages. As a force for good and reliable partner, Taiwan is more than willing to share its experiences, ideas, and expertise with the world. And going forward, we have much to contribute to sustainable economic growth, supply chain resilience, and advancement of peace and democracy in the Indo-Pacific and beyond. I was delighted to learn that a number of our overseas guests will be remaining in Taiwan to experience and celebrate our National Day on October 10th. I hope those of you who do will enjoy this meaningful occasion with us. In the meantime, let me once again thank you all for your presence, your valuable insights, and your support. We look forward to your continued dedication to research on matters relating to Taiwan and the Indo-Pacific. With your support, encouragement, and your shared commitment, Taiwan will continue to stand as a beacon of democracy in the Indo-Pacific and a steadfast partner in advancing freedom and resilience across the region. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Minister Ge and Chairman Xiao for the opening remarks. Now, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce you to our keynote speaker for this evening, Tommy Sowers, Director of the Graduate Studies at Duke University, brings a wealth of experience and knowledge to the table. Having worked at the intersection of academia, innovation, and public service, tonight he will share his thoughts on the critical role of outsiders, including academia, think tanks, startups, and businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome me in joining Tommy Sowers.
Good evening, everyone. Vice Minister Ger, Ambassador, and all the representatives from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It's a really inspiring example to see this intersection between think tanks and government. And I would also like to thank Chairman Xiao for inviting me here and putting on such a fantastic event, and Dr. Yang as well. I'm honored to be here with you this evening, and I began my career in the Army as a Special Forces operator, and I'm an operator at heart, and I can tell a great operation when I see one. And we've thanked a lot of people throughout the day. I want to thank all the members of TEF, all the folks that were standing around on the side and all that. A great organization cannot operate without that. So I want to give all those folks a round of applause. So I learned 3 rules about speeches when I was in the Army. And the first rule, I'm going to violate 2 of them right now. So the first rule was never, ever put a speech between people and food. And I just sat down at my table and all my table mates told me that, like, the food is coming. So the second thing is, if you want people to remember anything, put it out in the morning, never speak last at the end of the day. And it's been a fantastic day with lots of thought-provoking thoughts. But then the third rule I'm gonna stick to, which is never, ever has anyone complained about a speech that is too short. So we're gonna hit our time here and we're gonna get you fed. Last, I really want to thank all the distinguished speakers and panelists that were here today. It was a very thought-provoking, wide-ranging discussion. But I also want to thank you because we really didn't cover radical technology. And in America right now, I cannot go to a conference, I cannot give a speech without it being about radical technology. Everyone is talking about, aside from the politics, everyone is talking about it. And that's why I'm here with you today. So radical technology, it seems like it magically appears out of nowhere. And suddenly, everyone's talking about it. It's, as Joshua said, everywhere, every place, all at once. And billionaires are suddenly getting minted out in Silicon Valley and around the world. And every leader has got to have a strategy. The chairs are demanding it. The shareholders are demanding it. And then in America, inevitably, the Super Bowl ads come next, where you watch the Super Bowl and every ad is about this radical new technology and how it must be adopted and you must have a strategy. And then finally, the speakers come. And we have to have a talk about radical technology. So the message is usually the same. It's, folks, outside of your regular day-to-day lives, if you don't pay attention to this radical technology, you, my friends, are behind. And that's the message. But what if I'm not talking about AI? I've seen this before. So in the early 90s, I came to college around the internet time. So Mark Andreessen was getting minted as a new billionaire. There were billionaires being minted all the time. The stock market went up 5 times. And we all know how that ended after the dot-com boom. And right now, there's much of this in the discussion. Is this a bust? Is this a boom? Where is all this going? What I can say is that it is the same, and we have seen these technologies come, these hype cycles begin, but this one is different. It's different in a few ways. One, it is much, much faster in terms of adoption. This is a chart of how long it took technology to be adopted by 100 million people. Usually measured in years, and this for ChatGPT in months. This is a chart of user growth, and this ended in April with 800 million weekly active users. 1 out of 10 people in the planet is using this. It's global. This is a key difference about this technology. So this is a chart where it shows how long it took users outside of North America to use the internet. So it got to 90% of the users of the internet were outside of North America in 23 years. For AI, it's basically 2. And it's a global, fast-moving phenomenon. And it's everywhere all at once. I mean, I teach this stuff, so I cannot keep up with the amount of books. And books are out of date as soon as they are published. So Henry Kissinger wrote a book, and founders write a book, and how to use this stuff. It's all over the place. And I've sat where many of you sit, inside think tanks, running large organizations, and it's, how do I keep up with this? These are the mentions of AI in quarterly earnings calls in the New York Stock Exchange. Everyone has to have a strategy, and if you don't have a strategy, you are behind. And while no one can really agree what all this means, so you have very positive representations of this. This is by Sam Altman, who runs OpenAI, says, we can have a degree of shared prosperity. This is going to raise all boats. We may not have to work again, and everyone's life will be better. But then the IMF sees things a little bit differently, that it will worsen inequality and 40% of jobs worldwide could be affected. The godfather of AI, who won the Nobel Prize last year, good news, he's lowered his chances that we will all die to only 10 to 20%. And then this got a lot of news in the United States, is that MIT reported that 95% of large organizations that are adopting this technology are seeing no noticeable effect. Billions being spent, trillions being invested. So throughout government, everyone can agree on one thing, though. I have to do a meme. So people want it. So CEOs, large organizations are saying, we want AI. But then they're also saying this, what do we want to use it for? We're not sure, but we need it right now. So to navigate this mess, who should be your guide in this? Well, the good news is TEF brought in a global AI expert to give the talk tonight. Actually, I just used AI to doctor that as quickly as possible. I'm a technologist at heart. Here I was at a conference 3 years ago where AI was really introduced to me. And at that point, I was doing something very different. I was running one of the largest private jet companies in America. So I brought it back and I said, we need to adopt this. That pilot failed like the other 95% that were out there. But then I came to Duke. And over the last 2 years, we've done projects with OpenAI, with Google, with the OECD, with UNESCO. And the latest one was with the North Carolina governor. And this is going to be really the topic. North Carolina is one of the larger states. Its economy is, comparable to Taiwan. And when I met with the governor and the staff, they said, look, we don't want you to write me a paper about how to use AI. We need you to do something. And I loved the last panel talking about doing and do tanks and all that, but there was this desire to do something. So AI was mentioned at the top of the conference with Audrey Tong and her talk of saying action and innovation. And I really emphasize this action component to it. And I got a chance to meet Audrey, not over the video, but I met her at April at Duke when we hosted her, thanks to my former student, one of Taiwan's best and one of TEF's best now, Yuqi Cheng, who invited Audrey to come speak at Duke. And Audrey spoke about action. She spoke about the sunflower movement and how new technology really enabled that movement to happen. And it was a great cross-learning experience in that. So it brings us to our question. How can academia and think tanks help in this topic? And what we did for the governor is sort of a model. And I had just a brief chance to talk to the ambassador. I know many organizations are not using this for lots of very good reasons, but it's here now. What we've learned is this, is interdisciplinary teams matters. We can't just have the policy school come over and advise the governor on that. We form interdisciplinary teams with computer scientists and data scientists and policy wonks and art history majors. And it's that interdisciplinary magic where it's bringing in the technology, but also the human component. We power the teams with AI. We say it's not just a team of 4, it is a team of 4 plus AI. And I give them unreasonable tasks that they cannot possibly, no all-nighter will allow them to complete it, but with AI they can. So an example for the North Carolina governor, the next day we had a report of every initiative at the local, state, international, multinational level of AI adoption to actually help citizens across 5 different domain areas. It wasn't perfect. We had to check our sources on that, but the speed of delivery really changed. Academia can convene, much as we did with Audrey on this, and we can bring in outside voices that government doesn't normally get to see, and we see that here, of course, today. academia, and especially these teams, can engage with a variety of stakeholders that's different than if the government comes and says, I want to talk to you about this. We had teams go out and interview patients and providers to talk about AI in healthcare, AI in education, and the like. And then a broad landscape analysis. You know, think tanks, academia has an ability to pull in lessons, as we did here today, from across an entire region and apply them in a specific case. So the key findings for us is engagement endures. When I speak with business leaders, I say, keep all your salespeople, because people are going to want to sell to humans. They're going to want to come to conferences. They're going to have wine and discuss things together. It doesn't matter how great the model is, that is going to stay. And this does not work with engaging with government unless there is a hungry, dedicated lead inside of government. I've worked in government at the assistant secretary level and in the federal government. They're busy. They have a lot of things going on. And unless outsiders make this dead simple for them, and there's a real demand, a real pull, it's not a push into government, it is a pull from government that says, I need help on this. Both have to be patient to work with the others. But there's greatness that can come from this, especially on the student academia side. One of the students that led the team is now leading the AI strategy for North Carolina. It's patience. And garbage in, garbage out. There's got to be strong engagement. We demand weekly engagement, and eventually we move the teams inside government, and that's how we got the quality result. And success breeds success. So now we're moving on to more teams and broader perspectives on this. And it's not a perfect model, and it may not apply for where you live, but it's a model that's working for bringing radical technology into government on this. So you, my friends, are not behind. Government needs you. Government needs the expertise, but it may not be a report all the time. It may be more of that, you know, in this age of thinking machines, it's less about producing that and more about the doing that needs to occur. So I think I hit my mark on time. I want to thank you all for the opportunity to come here this evening. Enjoy your meal, and thank you for the honor of speaking here tonight.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sowers, for that thought-provoking address. Ladies and gentlemen, as we continue to enjoy the rest of our evening, let us reflect on the ideas shared, the partnerships forged, and the opportunities ahead. On behalf of all of us here, I would like to extend our deepest gratitude to all the speakers and distinguished guests, organizers, and most importantly, everyone here for making this evening truly memorable. Please enjoy the dinner and the company of our fellow attendees and all the conversations that will undoubtedly follow. Thank you, and have a wonderful dinner with all of you guys.